Which of the following is essential when assessing a client's insurance needs? A. Asking the client to choose product without guidance. B. Asking appropriate fact-finding questions about risk profile and affordability. C. Offering pre-selected policy before understanding the client. D. Recommending the product with the highest commission. The correct answer is B. Asking appropriate fact-finding questions about risk profile and affordability explanation. Before recommending any insurance product, brokers must gather adequate information about the client's risk profile, budget, and preferences. This fact-finding process ensures the advice is tailored and appropriate, aligning with regulatory obligations and good customer service. When comparing different insurers or policy features for a client, what is the broker's responsibility? A. Choose the cheapest premium and ignore coverage differences. B. Only present options from the insurer paying the highest commission. C. Explain differences in coverage and disclose any fees or commissions. D. Avoid overwhelming the client with details. The correct answer is C. Explain differences in coverage and disclose any fees or commissions. Explanation. Providing clear product comparisons and transparency around fees or commissions is critical. This allows the client to make an informed decision and supports compliance with the best interest duty under the law. Which of the following best helps manage client expectations during the insurance process? A. Using technical jargon to sound professional. B. Delaying discussions about exclusions or claims processes. C. Explaining policy limitations and claims processes in plain language. D. Promising all claims will be approved. The correct answer is C. Explaining policy limitations and claims processes in plain language. Explanation. Managing expectations involves clear, honest communication about what a policy covers, what it excludes, and how claims are handled. This helps avoid future disputes and builds trust. What is the correct sequence in the insurance broking steps? A. Issue invoice. Get quote. Receive inquiry. B. Receive inquiry. Fact finding. Research products. Obtain quotes. Present options. C. Present options. Place cover. Fact finding. D. Research products. Receive inquiry. Issue policy. The correct answer is B. Receive inquiry. Fact finding. Research products. Obtain quotes. Present options. Explanation. The correct broking process begins with the client inquiry, followed by fact finding, researching appropriate options, getting quotes, and then presenting those options clearly. What should a broker do at the time of renewal? They automatically renew the policy without contacting the client. B. Remarket the policy if necessary and proactively contact the client. C. Wait until the policy lapses before acting. D. Increase premiums without notice. The correct answer is B. Remarket the policy if necessary and proactively contact the client. Explanation. Renewals must be handled proactively with client engagement and a review of current coverage. Where necessary, brokers should remarket policies to ensure the best terms. Which is the broker's responsibility in the claims process? A. Making the final decision on the claim outcome. B. Notifying the insurer and assisting the client with documentation. C. Ignoring client concerns during the claim. D. Delaying lodging the claim to avoid paperwork. The correct answer is B. Notifying the insurer and assisting the client with documentation. Explanation. Brokers must assist clients through the claims process, including notifying the insurer, lodging the claim, helping gather documentation, and explaining claim outcomes or dispute resolution options. Which of the following is a compliance responsibility for brokers? A. Providing advice outside their licensee's approved product list. B. Ignoring licensee procedures to speed up processing. C. Adhering to licensee policies and maintaining documentation timeframes. D. Relying on verbal communication without written records. The correct answer is C. Adhering to licensee policies and maintaining documentation timeframes. Explanation. Compliance involves following licensee rules, maintaining records, and delivering advice and documents within mandated timeframes. Failing to comply may result in breaches or penalties. Which of the following must be securely stored under the Privacy Act? A. General marketing materials. B. Social media content. C. Personal and financial data of clients. D. Brochures from insurance providers. The correct answer is C. Personal and financial data of clients. Explanation. Client data, including names, addresses, ID numbers, and financial information, must be handled securely and confidentially in accordance with the Privacy Act and industry regulations. Which action fulfills a broker's AML obligation? A. Identifying clients using Know Your Customer (KIC) procedures. B. Avoiding reporting to maintain the client relationship. C. Only verifying client identity for large policies. D. Ignoring red flags for unusual activity. The correct answer is A. Identifying clients using Know Your Customer (KIC) procedures. Explanation. Brokers must comply with anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing (AML) laws. This includes verifying client identity using KIC procedures and reporting suspicious activity, regardless of policy size or client profile. What documentation should be retained by a broker? A. Only the client's contact details. B. Any policy over $10,000. C. Marketing flyers used during the meeting. D. ROAs, policy schedules, and notes of discussion. The correct answer is D. ROAs, policy schedules, and notes of discussion. Explanation. To meet professional and regulatory standards, brokers must retain records of advice, ROAs, policy documentation, and written notes of client discussions. This ensures compliance, supports quality service, and protects both parties in case of disputes. Which of the following best defines factual information in the context of general insurance advice? A. Recommending a specific insurance product to suit a client's needs. B. Explaining how product works without suggesting its suitability. C. Comparing multiple products based on client's personal situation. D. Asking questions to determine client's financial goals. The correct answer is B. Explaining how a product works without suggesting its suitability. Explanation. Factual information involves providing objective information about insurance products or services without making any form of recommendation. It does not take the client's personal needs or circumstances into account. Which of the following is required when giving general advice? A. Completing a statement of advice. So B. Issuing a general advice warning. C. Conducting a full client needs analysis. D. Signing a record of advice. ROA. The correct answer is B. Issuing a general advice warning. Explanation. Under general advice, the broker must include a general advice warning that informs the client that their personal financial situation has not been considered and that they should assess the product's suitability before making a decision. Personal advice differs from general advice because it A. is always provided by an underwriter, B. only relates to life insurance, C. considers the client's financial situation, objectives, and needs, D. can be provided without any supporting documentation. The correct answer is C. Considers the client's financial situation, objectives, and needs. Explanation. Personal advice is based on the advisor considering or taking into account the client's personal circumstances. This type of advice requires the broker to collect and assess information about the client's needs before making recommendation. Which of the following would most likely be classified as personal advice? A. This product is available in monthly and annual payment options. B. I recommend this policy because it suits your need for low-cost car insurance. C. You can find more product details in this brochure. D. This is one of the most popular policies we offer. The correct answer is B. I recommend this policy because it suits your need for low-cost car insurance. Explanation. This statement refers directly to the client's specific needs and includes recommendation. As such, it is personal advice and carries additional legal and ethical obligations. Which statement about record of advice, ROA, at the Tier 2 level is correct? A. It must be provided whenever personal advice is given. B. It is only needed if general advice is provided. C. It replaces the need for a product disclosure statement. D. It is optional for all types of advice. The correct answer is A. It must be provided whenever personal advice is given. Explanation. At the Tier 2 level, a record of advice must be maintained when giving personal advice, while a full statement of advice, so is not typically required at this level. Documentation of the personal advice is still essential. Why must insurance brokers avoid misleading or deceptive conduct? A. It reduces operational costs for the firm. B. It helps with advertising compliance. C. It is a legal requirement under financial services law. D. It makes the advice process faster. The correct answer is C. It is a legal requirement under financial services law. Explanation. Misleading or deceptive conduct is strictly prohibited under financial services law. Brokers must act honestly and fairly to ensure clients are not misled when making insurance decisions. Which of the following best demonstrates treating a client fairly. A, only offering products with the highest commission. B, clearly explaining all fees, exclusions, and terms of the policy. C, recommending the same product to every client. D, avoiding disclosure of complex policy details. The correct answer is B, clearly explaining all fees, exclusions, and terms of the policy. Explanation. Treating clients fairly includes being transparent about all aspects of the policy, including costs and limitations. This ensures that clients can make informed decisions. A broker notices that a client has limited English proficiency. What is the most appropriate step to take? A, proceed with the sale without delay. B, use simpler language and offer translated materials or interpreter support. C, ask the client to sign a waiver. D, refer the client to another broker. The correct answer is B, use simpler language and offer translated materials or interpreter support. Explanation. Brokers have an obligation to support vulnerable clients. This includes adapting communication to ensure the client can understand the information being presented. Which situation best illustrates a conflict of interest? A, recommending a product based solely on the client's needs. B, receiving extra commissions for promoting particular insurer's product. C, offering the client multiple product choices. D, referring the client to the product disclosure statement. The correct answer is B, receiving extra commissions for promoting a particular insurer's product. Explanation. Conflict of interest arises when brokers' personal gain, e.g., through commission, could influence the advice they give. Brokers must disclose conflicts and ensure that they act in the client's best interest. Which of the following is not a characteristic of professional conduct in general insurance? A, acting with diligence. B, maintaining client confidentiality. C, providing misleading policy summaries to speed up decisions. D, demonstrating integrity in all dealings. The correct answer is C, providing misleading policy summaries to speed up decisions. Explanation. Providing misleading summaries breaches the duty of honesty and integrity. Professional conduct requires transparency, fairness, and clear communication to ensure clients make well-informed decisions. Which regulator is primarily responsible for overseeing conduct and disclosure obligations in the financial services industry? A, FCAT. B, Otto. C, ASIC. D, APRA. The correct answer is C, ASIC. Explanation. The Australian Securities and Investments Commission, ASIC, is the national corporate regulator responsible for monitoring conduct and enforcing compliance with the Corporations Act 2001, including disclosure and licensing requirements for brokers and financial advisors. EPRA supervises financial stability and FCA handles complaints, but ASIC governs how advice is delivered. Under the AFSL framework, an individual who gives advice on Tier 2 products without being directly licensed must A, register with FCA independently, B, obtain their own AFSL, C, be appointed as an authorized representative of a licensee, D, act as an employee only without advising clients. The correct answer is C, be appointed as an authorized representative of a licensee. Explanation. Individuals who provide advice on Tier 2 products must either hold an Australian Financial Services Licence (AFSL) or be appointed as an authorised representative of an AFSL holder. This ensures they operate within a defined scope of authority and under legal supervision. What is one key difference between general advice and personal advice in general insurance? A, general advice must be given in writing only. B, personal advice considers the client's objectives, financial situation, or needs. C, general advice can only be given by Tier 1 representatives. D, personal advice does not require disclosure documentation. The correct answer is B, personal advice considers the client's objectives, financial situation, or needs explanation. Personal advice takes into account clients' individual circumstances, such as their financial situation, needs, and objectives. General advice provides information about product without tailoring it to the client's situation. This distinction is crucial for disclosure and documentation obligations. Which of the following is a Tier 2 retail general insurance product? A, workers' compensation. B, private use motor vehicle insurance. C, business interruption insurance. D, public liability insurance. The correct answer is B, private use motor vehicle insurance. Explanation. Tier 2 products are simpler retail general insurance products that include private use motor vehicle insurance, home building and contents, travel insurance, and consumer credit insurance. Products like workers' compensation and public liability are considered Tier 1. What document must be provided to clients before giving financial advice to explain the licensee services, relationships, and remuneration? A. Statement of advice, SOA. B. Record of advice, ROO. C. Product Disclosure Statement, PDS. D. Financial Services Guide, FAG. The correct answer is D. Financial Services Guide, FSG. Explanation. The FSG provides clients with essential information about the advisor or licensee, including the services offered, remuneration, and complaint procedures. It must be given before personal or general advice is provided so the client can make an informed decision about whether to proceed. According to RG 146, Tier 2 advisors must demonstrate A. Knowledge of estate planning and investment theory, B. Advanced portfolio management technique, C. Specialist knowledge of general insurance and regulatory compliance, D. Accreditation with Tier 1 financial planning qualifications. The correct answer is C. Specialist knowledge of general insurance and regulatory compliance explanation. The 6th Regulatory Guide 146 RG 146 outlines that Tier 2 advisors must have specialist knowledge in retail general insurance products and a working understanding of compliance, ethics, and disclosure obligations relevant to their scope of advice. What is the purpose of a product disclosure statement, PDS? A. To present only the benefits of a product. B. To disclose market predictions and analysis. C. To outline features, benefits, limitations, and costs of a product. D. To provide personal recommendations for clients. The correct answer is C. To outline features, benefits, limitations, and costs of a product. Explanation. AES helps clients understand the financial product by explaining its key features, fees, benefits, risks, exclusions, and how to use it. It must be clear and accurate and is required for all retail clients before purchasing most financial products. Which of the following is an optional benefit or policy extension commonly found in retail general insurance? A. A deductible clause. B. Legal liability cover in travel insurance. C. Standard building sum insured. D. Waiting period clause. The correct answer is B. Legal liability cover in travel insurance explanation. Optional benefits or policy extensions enhance the standard cover. For example, travel insurance often allows the addition of legal liability cover or cover for pre-existing medical conditions depending on the insurer and client needs. What does the term excess refer to in general insurance policies? A. The premium paid monthly. B. The total value of the insured property. C. The amount the client must pay towards claim. D. The optional coverage added for extra protection. The correct answer is C. The amount the client must pay towards a claim. Explanation. An excess is the portion of a claim the client pays out of pocket before the insurer pays the balance. It helps reduce the number of small claims and can influence the premium. When providing personal advice, what must the advisor include in addition to the FSG and EDS? A. Record of advice, ROA, or statement of advice, SOA depending on context. B. Summary of product brochures only. C. Client's credit report. D. List of Tier 1 qualified advisors. The correct answer is A. Record of advice, ROA, or statement of advice, SOA depending on context. Explanation. When personal advice is provided, the advisor must give the client either a statement of advice, SOA, or a record of advice, ROA, depending on the complexity and whether the advice is ongoing. These documents demonstrate how the advice is suited to the client's situation and meet legal disclosure obligations.